Hey guys, welcome to an impromptu watch along on Balloon Hit Productions. I'm your host, as usual. My name is Marcelo Inestroza, and this evening I will be talking about Clerks 3. Clerks 3. Wow, I've waited decades to actually say that. But just like the first two Clerks films that I watched on this channel, I will not be alone. I will be with a good friend of mine. He's one of the best Canadians I know. He's very calm, cool, collected. Uh, Putting it lightly, he's like, well, I'm not going to say that. But he's just a really good friend of mine. So with that being said, I would like to welcome PJ to the stream. Hello,
Hello.
PJ.
I'm impatient and difficult and abrasive.
Why is that? Why are you so impatient?
Hmm?
Why are you so impatient?
Oh, I'm just a generally impatient person.
Okay, all right. Before we, jump off the cliff here with Clerks 3, like, what were some of your feelings going into this film? What were you excited about? What were you looking forward to?
Well, I've been waiting for it since 2006. I foolishly assumed that 3 would be right around the corner after 6 because 6 was an actual. I expected 3 soon after 2006, like maybe 2008, 2009, assuming because it was a box office success. And it's one of his most successful theatrical runs. But as time went on, I started to think it might not happen. Like, he kept talking about it, bringing it up. Finally, in 2020 freaking 22, we get Clerks 3. It makes a lot of sense though, because to have them as young dudes in the first one in the 90s, like just barely out of high school, even though they were like in the mid 20s. And you have the second one, which is the age like we're in now, in your fucking 30s, and you don't know what's ahead, and you don't know you're not really sure about what you've done so far. And now this one is like midlife. And what does that mean? Fucking eat right. That's what it's saying. Eat right.
Yeah,
Stop eating those fatty foods. Stick a
yeah,
vegetable in your mouth every once in a while.
yeah. I was look. I've said on this stream and various others that I was introduced to Kevin's work later on in life. I was introduced to his work in college. But the thing that I most liked about the Clerks franchise, and I still like about the Clerks franchise, is it's just a slice of life, right? And actually, I was thinking about this a little bit earlier today. I mean, if you really boil it down, the Clerks franchise, it's so cool that I get to finally say that the Clerks franchise is essentially, about um, you know, uh, you know, um, you know, about recognizing that you need to grow up. The second one is about, is about moving forward to take on new challenges And the third one is essentially about, well, I'm not going to tell you what the third one is essentially about in case you haven't seen the film. But if you're watching this and you haven't seen the film, what the fuck are you doing? Go off of this, watch the film, then come back and watch it with us if you like.
And
But
the basic theme of all three films is, though, like the overall arching thing is shit or get off the pot, which I think they say that in every movie, if I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
shit, yes, yes,
And
should get off the
and
pot.
in this case, somebody gets off the pot.
Yeah, he gets off the pot.
One guy shits and one guy gets off the pot. There you go.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't look. I appreciated what Kevin was going for in this film, but I don't know if at this stage in my life, that's the Clerk movie that I necessarily wanted to see. With that being said, I do think I understand what he was going for. I just wish that he would have executed it a little bit differently. And if he was going for what he went in this film, I wish that he would have taken out a lot of the uh, for the over top humorous moments, right?
Mm.
But in a way, the over top humorous moments are kind of a device to sort of disarm the audience for what happens later on in the film.
Yeah, much of this movie is informed by Kevin Smith's real life, as the first one was really. But
Right, right,
if that hadn't happened to him, we would not have had this version of Clerks 3, if any version at all. But
right, right, right.
it's at least it's better than that previous one where it dealt with like the hurricane and
Oh yeah, yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff. It's like, nah,
yeah.
that
Thank
would not
God.
have worked.
Yeah, thank God he didn't do that. So for those of you new to my channel, what we're basically going to do is, if you want to watch the movie along with us, we will give you a countdown, and then with your copy at home, you can watch along with us. But because Lionsgate releases different copies of the film across different territories, my good co-host here, PJ, is going to give you a really brief explanation about when in the film we're going to start. Actually,
Just to make it simpler for everybody, instead of starting at 000, which sometimes too, like when you hit the play, there's different lag times, I think, that mess up the sync. But
right.
this, we're gonna start it after the Smodcast logo. That is the clown that winks, and then the screen goes to black. So if you're gonna cue it up, go past, and it when we start, it's gonna start. The first thing you see on the screen, black screen, Lionsgate comes up, and that's how we know we're in sync.
Mm-hmm.
So let's cue it up.
All right, here we go. You can kill the cameras if you want, or whatever you want.
Okay.
All right, so okay, I'm going to count down from 3, and at 1 we're going to press play. Okay?
Okay. You have a black screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
All right.
All right. Let's do this.
3, 2, 1, play.
Lionsgate presents Musings in Destro Film Production. The music starts playing. Well, the music is playing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the choice of this song?
I think it's great. I think it really informs the story that we're gonna the story that we're gonna sit and watch. But you know, the fact that he played the entire opening sequence,
Like the whole song.
right, with this song over it, I thought was a great choice.
The one little annoyance in the theater when I saw this, besides the fact that the picture was too dark, not the movie itself, the way it was projected, was when it was that black screen, the Lionsgate thing comes up. Before the song even started, these two guys were chuckling. And then when the song played, they chuckled more. And they were like just laughing at the song. And I'm like, what is their deal with... Why are they laughing at this? Nothing's happened. The movie's just started. And I guess I surmised that they were laughing at the choice of the song. Now I couldn't tell if they were laughing at the choice of the song because they like the song, or because they fucking hate it. Because I remember My Chemical Romance. There was like this fucking weird sect of people like, fuck it, they suck it, I hate their shit. Panic at the Disco kind of had that vibe too, where like people dug them, and then there was a section was like, fucking hate that music. I had a friend who only likes country, right? Only country, only country. He calls everything that is not country music emo. It doesn't matter what it
Really?
is. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's from the 90s on, he calls like Nirvana and everything, just everything that's not all my exes live in Texas. If it's not that, he's like, oh, it's all emo.
Oh my god.
And I was like, you call everything emo. And this band and others like it, he despised. And I mean seriously fucking hated them. And that's what I was thinking when those guys were laughing. I'm like, I'm sure these guys probably are like, fucking Chemical Romance, dude. Kevin Smith, fucking hack. I don't know. I'm projecting a lot on these two
No,
guys.
it's okay.
But it was
No,
just
it's
weird.
okay.
It was like they just start laughing while the song's playing. I'm like, maybe they like it or maybe they hate it. I couldn't tell.
Or maybe they weren't expecting it. Maybe the song choice caught them off guard.
And they're like, oh, this fucking song I used to love, or this fucking song I used to hate.
Yeah, I mean, there's
What
no
do you think of the song?
I like it because my favorite era of music is punk rock, early late '90s music, early 2000s music. So
You remember
this
Fall
is
Out
just
Boy?
a joy.
Fall Out Boy were around that time, right? Maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
You don't hear about them much anymore, though.
No, there was Fall Out Boy.
By the way, emo music, Fall Out Boy. That I'm saying my friend hated. He's like, everything's emo. Everything. And I think what it was, that period of the 2000s when I guess he was getting too old for music. Cause come on, dude. Nothing against country music, but if that's all you listen to, what kind of personality must you have? No, I'm joking. I find it disconcerting when people aren't eclectic. When people are very like, I don't like any other genre outside jazz or something. I don't know.
No, I think I think that's systemic to a deeper problem. I think those type of people aren't open to having their mind changed. They're just comfortable, listening to one type of music their entire lives. In a way, it's an excuse for them not growing.
When I was a kid, I listened to, and I was open about it. I didn't like try to hide it or anything. I listened to like Nine Inch Nails, Nirvana, Bush, Soundgarden, Silverchair, on top of listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony, Snoop Dogg, fucking Dr. Dre. I was a little bit into NWA, but Wu-Tang and stuff like that. You know what? I got shit from both sides. The people who liked rap, you like that fucking grunge rock shit. And then the people who hated rap, the opposite side of it, like people who liked rap, you're like, you listen, or people who liked rock. I remember my friend Alan. He used to make fun of me for like liking rap. And he's like, sing that Bone. He used to always bring up Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony. He'd be like, oh, it's the Crossroads guy. I'm like, what? Because I like Snoop Dogg? Oh, I think I only mentioned Bone Thugs and Harmony once.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the Wu-Tang and all that shit, and I like the rock, and I couldn't understand why people were like, if you liked one, you had to hate the other. It's like that Star Wars, Star Trek bullshit.
Yeah. No, I think I think the best course of action nowadays is to like what you like, and if other people don't give you shit for liking what you like, just ignore them and just go your own separate ways. But when you're younger, wanting to fit into a clique or something like that, that is difficult to do. And plus, when you're younger, you kind of don't have the mental acuity to understand that it's okay to be different than everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember me and my cousin were this girl from Ontario. She was down. We were hanging out with her and her friends and stuff. And we both liked her, right? Me and my cousin. And
Hmm.
she really loved the band Bush. And I knew Bush, and I liked Bush. Bush X, or what they were called in Canada because of a copyright thing. But
Right.
Gavin Rossdale and all that shit. She loved all that stuff.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, they're my favorite band, which they were at the time. And then
Right.
my cousin, so full of shit, was like, oh yeah, I love Bush and Silverchair. I'm like, you don't listen to any of that stuff. I said he literally only listens to Tupac, and that's like it. And nothing else. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, all of a sudden you know the band's names and all this shit. You only know that because I know them. And he was like
Right.
totally trying to mac on this girl with all this bullshit. Like, I like your music. Like,
Hmm.
no, you don't. Anyway, neither one of us were successful in dating this girl, so it didn't matter.
Hey man, I'm still just trying to figure out the proper, the dating thing, and I'm 34, so like, eh.
It's funny how he's such a hardcore Christian still after all these
Mm.
years.
Yeah, no, I mean the whole Elias, this whole angle with Elias, you know, being a hardcore Christian, an evangelist or whatever. I didn't particularly like this. If Kevin would have played this a little bit more seriously, to to sort of to sort of um, to sort of blend into the more serious nature of what is going to happen in this film, I thought it I thought it might have worked better. But in retrospective, I see why he did this, to sort of disalarm, to sort of disarm us from the shit that we're going to be dealing with as we go through the course of this film.
Yeah, there's a conversation that's about to happen about the good thief and all this, and I've heard that stories. Grew up Catholic in Catholic schools. I know all this fucking stories, and
Hmm.
it's like I never find any meaning in them. The only one thing in the Holy Bible that I ever kind of go back and think like that's a good point. People should do that. Is do unto others as you would have done unto yourself or whatever. Like treat people the way
Right.
you want to be treated. Like that's a very good. Most of the other stuff in there is like gobbledygook to me. Old and New Testament. It's like
Hmm.
parables and like It's all about teaching ancient like older people the people back in the day about do good and fear God and
Mm.
you'll be in heaven. At the same time, while you know discriminating against anybody who was slightly different than you, it's like
I think.
contradictory.
I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I've said it on multiple streams. I've said it on podcasts. I'm an atheist, and I am open to having my mind changed. But at this point in my life, I will, you know, you know, uh, I will try to understand where individuals are coming from when they want to say something about God or whatever. But when they start to preach to me and they try to change my ideals, that's when I get upset. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, um,
This see this the way it's like this part is supposed to mean something. It's supposed to connect to the end. I get it. I just don't feel it. This is probably the one part of the movie where I'm like, and the way he said, like, it's an awkward acting moment too for this guy, the
yeah, it
Elias
is.
character. It's
It is.
when really he's good in the whole thing. It's just this one part. It's like
Hmm.
no, but you can't really cut it because it leads into the heart attack, right?
Yeah.
The shirt he has on, "Suck me off, make me gum, Chuli's gum suckers." Another example of view askew products that would never exist in the real world.
Mm. That was actually the
Little
shirt that
slogans.
Randall is wearing is actually the crew shirt.
Oh, is it?
Um, yeah.
Cool. Just imagine if someone's like, "I can't. I'm not wearing this, Kevin. This is. I'm gonna me too you because this is sexual, and you make me wear a sexual thing." It's like, why did you cut? Why did you sign up for a Kevin Smith movie? No,
Mm-hmm.
I think Kevin Smith walks that line of being sexually creepy, but not so much so that people would be like, "I need to report him."
Hmm.
Although he did
No,
work for Harvey Weinstein for a while.
no, it didn't work for
Actually,
him for sure.
a lot of people did work for Harvey Weinstein. Some of whom were very vocal, not vocal, but would say things from time to time about him. Brad Pitt, I said something one time. Seth MacFarlane made jokes about his predatory nature and stuff like that before anybody really knew, right? The
Mm.
public, I mean. Everybody in Hollywood fucking knew, but
Right.
it's like Kevin Spacey now. Like, there's just endless stuff keeps coming out about him and
Yep.
sexual improprieties with
Hmm.
people he shouldn't be doing stuff with. It's weird though because I love the movie Glengarry Glen Ross, which by the way is referenced in Jay and Silent Bob reboot. That movie's amazing. Kevin Spacey's in the movie. I'm not gonna fucking be like, oh, I can't watch it now. The Negotiator, I watched that like a couple of years ago. I'm like, oh, it's Kevin Spacey.
No,
But I'm like, but it's Samuel L. Jackson too. Like,
I've been known to be able to separate, the
art
artist from the
artist.
actual person, and I can only do that with Kevin Spacey early on in his career. Anything new that comes out, which isn't going to come out
Where
anymore, but
he kind of has that it's that creepy southern drawl like he has in the House of Cards. Like, well, sir, come to my office and now massage your shoulders for you. It's like, okay, that's it's predatory, Kevin Spacey. And those videos, you ever see those videos he made after the fact? He made like 2 Christmas videos on YouTube. In the
I've
character
never
of
seen.
the guy from House of Cards, it's really it's weird.
Mhm.
Justin Long, man, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah, man.
And you know what? There are parts of Tusk that are very interesting, like the Yoga Hoser stuff and the Johnny Depp stuff. And
For my money, I know Tusk is very, 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 very divisive, but Tusk is the movie where I I've never seen Kevin do that, and I really appreciated his attempt. I'm a Tusk defender, so
and Tusk's. I keep forgetting that Tusk has a spin-off.
right.
It's like Yoga Hosers. And when Kevin Conroy passed away recently, I saw the clip of him in Yoga Hosers. And I was like, I just watched it. Yeah, he was with a younger, like a teenage kid or something, and he's like, "Let's go, Robin."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I
I ended up watching some clips from Yoga Hosers. I'm like, I don't know, the sorry boat, that thing. I mean, I thought that was like, now I like it. I like it more. I want to see more Yoga Hosers.
Absolutely.
I want to see Moose Jaws. Make Moose Jaws, Kevin. Come on, Jesus.
Jaws with a moose.
This is all like that was almost verbatim what happened to Kevin Smith about the shaving, and like he's like, I have a small dick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the doctor, I think, said after, it's not that small.
Yeah.
That's what you say to a man who has a small dick. It's fine.
No, also at this point in the film, the doctor is doing his best to calm down Randal, so his blockage doesn't get worse.
That's the thing. Kevin Smith was so insecure about his body. He like delayed precious seconds of like life-saving seconds.
Right,
which
but
worked out in the end for him still, but he was fucking taking a risk.
No, I think I think the universe gave him his heart attack to make him conscious of his body, his family history, because he has actually, his family has a history of, high blood pressure, heart attacks, and stuff like that with his dad, because that's how his dad died, if I'm not mistaken.
I I can't remember. I think yeah, trust you on that one. But that
Mm.
part where she pulls down the underwear right fast, it's like fuck this. That really happened to him. To
Yeah.
Kevin Smith, the director, who's Silent Bob in the movie.
This this Elias stuff, this really pissed me off. I'm like, dude, just fuck. Are you?
It's
Ugh.
it's if it's a little forced, but it makes sense narratively if you're gonna have him switch over to Satan.
Right, right, right,
This is, I guess, the perfect or the opportune time to do it.
right.
But it gets a little silly when he's like takes out in a second he takes off his pants. He's like, "Fuck me, I don't know what he says. Fuck me, devil, or something, or take
Yeah,
my
yeah,
ass,
yeah.
or I don't know what he says."
Mhm.
This is Amy Sedaris, by the way, who plays the Doctor. She is in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, yeah. She's isn't isn't she the one with all the with all the droids? The
Yeah,
yeah.
and if she, you also may know her from a movie and a TV series called Strangers with Candy,
Okay.
where she plays an older woman who goes back to high school for some reason, and that she made that both the movie and the TV series with Stephen Colbert. That was like it was the first thing I ever saw Stephen Colbert in, actually, in terms of
Really.
acting.
Mm.
I'm sure I've seen him before that, but
Mm-hmm.
he's getting pissed.
Yeah, he's getting pissed.
Dante is a lot of reacting and not doing much in the first 20, 30, 40 minutes of this movie, I think.
Yeah.
All you get with his character is the, oh, my wife died after Clerks 2 and I'm sad and I'm depressed, which, that's the way they went. That's the way they went. I imagine this is what I imagine Clerks 3 to be. Like this, just with Bex and the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And actually his little Silent Bob partner, I assumed was Dante and Rosario's kid when I first saw the thing, and they didn't say,
Okay.
and I'm like, I know Rosario Dawson's in the movie, but why she must be working at movies, because in the promotional picture she has the movies thing on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's still at movies, and they're but that no, it's not how it worked out.
Right. I like I
She
would
was.
have
By the
turned.
way, could I just say the reason she was wearing the movies because the day that she shot that promotional picture was the day that they shot the whole thing outside movies where Dante fucking goes crazy. Anyway,
Okay.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. No. I mean, if I was just gonna rewrite this a little bit, I would tone down Elias way down, and I would actually make Rosario Dawson undead, and actually make them go through a loss as a couple together, like lose their child in a car accident or something like that. Make
Have
them
you listened to the director's commentary on this movie yet?
no, not yet. I listened to a bit of it before we did Clerks 2, but I haven't gone back to it yet.
I haven't, but and I think Kevin might clear it up. The reason, I think, because she was busy with Ahsoka,
Right, right,
that
right,
they
right, right,
couldn't,
right.
that he knew by the time they were filming. Like, how early did he know to change the part to where she? Because maybe I don't know. But maybe there was a version where she was fully around with
Hmm.
their kid, their teenage
Right.
kid.
Yeah, no, again, this is just me reacting as a fan and a writer. I may not like the tone and the direction that this film went, but I respect it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean that whoever is watching this right now or is listening to this right now, just because I don't like it, that doesn't automatically take your love away from it.
Listen, I totally respect your reaction to the movie too, because I like it. I think it's emotional. I think it's I'm little nitpicks here and there, but I think it's very well made, and And
Yeah.
despite what happens, I think it's like very satisfying at the end. And the best thing, it leaves like hope for the future. You're like, oh, it's that serious thing happened, but
Mm-hmm.
there's they're introducing Jay's daughter at the end,
Daughter.
reintroducing her, I should say.
Yeah, Millennium
She's
Falcon.
already in the universe, and
Mhm.
we're like, holy shit! I can totally see Clerks 4 with her, Randal, and somehow Dante's ex-fiance showing back up for whatever reason,
That would be
and
interesting.
hooking up with and
With
why am I
Cr-
blanking on Jeff Anderson's name in the movie?
oh,
Oh my
that would
god!
be interesting. That would be very, very interesting.
What's Jeff Anderson's name in the movie?
Oh,
How am I
his
forgetting
name
that? This is a
Randall or
total brain. Randall.
Randall.
What a fucking brain fart that was, dude. It's like forgetting Bruce Wayne as Batman's name.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
me,
Don't.
anyway, because I'm so used to these characters, right? I'm like, how the
Yeah,
fuck? I was literally
yeah.
thinking, it's not Dante, but it's the other guy. It's the other guy.
Hmm. Yeah, don't worry about it. I forget shit all the
I am
time.
smoking
So
weed presently, though. It's just,
yeah, it's fine.
it's totally appropriate for this movie.
Hmm.
I gotta be honest, when I first heard, and I didn't believe it at first because I was like, well, I've heard so much about Clerks 3 over the years, I won't believe it until they start filming type of thing. And when Kevin Smith was like, well, it's going to be about Dante having a not Dante, fuck, Randall having a heart attack. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. He's doing his story. But then he's like, and then he makes Clerks 1. I'm like, what? You mean to fucking tell me Clerks 3 is just going to be about them making the first movie? And that's really not what the movie is. That's
Nope.
part of it. In fact, the movie's so tight. That's what I love about Kevin Smith movies. He knows not to make things too long. And even if there's two scenes in each one of these movies where I'm like, it goes on too long with the dialogue, usually like they're pretty well paced. I think Clerks 2 is like the best of them in terms of just
Yeah, I
punchy
mean,
dialogue, really funny and edgy moments. This is a different flavor altogether. Clerks 3 is like, it's a Clerks movie, but it's just a little more serious. A little dash
yeah,
of
yeah, a little more.
emotion.
Yeah, I think in retrospect, I mean, you know how much I love Chasing Amy, and I have a special place in my heart for Chasing Amy. But I would have to say Clerks 2, Clerks 1, and Clerks 3. That's my order.
To me, they are the
Um,
crowning achievement in the View Askew universe. Like
yeah,
the OG View Askew movies. Like they're
yeah.
the main ones.
It
Like
started
they're
with
the
this.
Avengers of the View Askew verse. Like when you get to a Clerks movie, it really means something because they don't happen very often. And and
Mhm.
usually each one is the culmination of the View Askew universe up to that point, because you always get characters from that universe show up. Here, not you do get the cameos though. You
Mhm.
get the Mallrats cameos and the Ben Affleck and
No, but
but
the other
Clerks 2
thing,
did it really well with that small Ben Affleck cameo with the Jason Lee cameo about like I guess the pickle fucker, all that stuff. That was like very well incorporated. But he wasn't a
right, right,
former
right.
character though. He was an old actor in the View Askew universe playing a new character. But they do that all
Hmm.
the time anyway.
Hmm.
By the way, Brian O'Halloran has a cousin who looks just like him. And actually,
Really?
there's a recent comic. I heard Kevin Smith talk about it with Mark Bernardin, just like listening to it in the background. And I believe he said there's a comic where there's a Dante's family reunion type thing, and like his cousin is like the character in it, because Dante's dead now,
Uh-huh.
and all the males are just him, are just Brian O'Halloran, just multiple. Like they all just look exactly the same. So in theory, if you had a Clerks 4, Brian O'Halloran could very well be in the entire movie as the reporter.
Yeah, he could. He could.
It's like, oh, this is my cousin's story. Yeah, I never really know him that well, and people keep saying like, geez, I don't see I don't see the family resemblance. Is like some kind of sarcastic joke.
Right, but if Clerks 4 is ever going to happen,
Oh,
I
it's
think
happening. It's happening
yeah,
after Tusk 2, baby.
yes, okay. Well, I I actually with Kevin and the Clerks franchise, I will just say I will believe it when I'm sitting in the movie theater about to watch it. Um, I would like Kevin to sort of move the story along with Millennium Falcon, aka Harley Quinn Smith, and have her be the new clerk and work with Randal and Elias.
Um, I'm not. I just thought of something when you said that about how she's like the new generation, kind of. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know how Kevin Smith loves Degrassi, and
Yeah.
but more so Degrassi, the next generation. I swear to God, if Clerks 4 ever comes out, he decides not to call it 4, he'd call it Clerks: The Next Generation.
Oh
But
my
people would
god.
be like, "Oh, that's a Star Trek reference," and he'd be like, "Actually, it's a Degrassi
No, it's not.
reference."
You bastard. You know what?
I also
You
thought
know
they
what?
could do a Clerks Christmas. You know,
Oh, that would be
just
fun.
I don't know. There's something about the Clerks 4. After 3, you should start putting in the subtitles. You've earned that.
Subtitle?
Like you've earned that. You're a franchise now. And to say part 4 and part 5, that always, even though the movie may be good or bad or whatever, it always feels cheap. Like look at Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6. It's like, ugh, doesn't
Right.
sound
I'm
right.
yeah, yeah, I'm a fan of numbers when it comes to sequels, but I wouldn't begrudge anyone for liking subtitles. Subtitles, or
Or like
on their
like the name
films
of it and
after
then
three.
colon something.
Hmm.
Or I almost like appreciate the James Bond route
Yeah.
of calling your sequels independent names that have only to do with the story. Like Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? That was the name of the movie. It wasn't
Yeah.
called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, that wasn't
Retroactively
until
now,
later.
yes, they do it now, but because people will genuinely not know. Raiders of the That's an Indiana Jones. I didn't know Raiders of the Lost Ark was an Indiana Jones movie. When I was a kid, I only knew the two: Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And then I was like, I'd heard of Raiders, but I didn't connect it. You know what I mean? Nobody like pointed it out.
Right.
And then I don't know where I saw it, and I discovered, oh, Raiders is that. I was like, there's a fucking Indiana Jones movie I haven't seen, I didn't know about. And it was simply just due to that. I was a kid, I was stupid. And
It's okay.
so I understand why they do it now, like in the Netflix queue. It's like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right.
If you want to go in order, if you want to go in chronological order, it's Temple
You
of
gotta
Doom,
watch Temple of
Raiders.
Doom first.
Yeah.
No, I
Which, by the
no,
way, is
I
not a good. Is the worst one. I don't like that one.
mm,
I think it's too
I
goofy.
eh, I actually like Temple of Doom first, and then Raiders, and then The Last Crusade, which is the proper order of it. If you're going chronologically, if you're going in release order, you can't do that. But I don't I think the goofiness of Temple of Doom sort of balances out the overall dark tone that the film has. But that's just me personally.
You know, to me as a kid, Temple was the first one I saw as a kid, and
Okay.
to me, it was like a horror movie because I fucking hated any horror movies with lots of bugs or snakes. It freaked
Okay.
me out. And this movie, like, there's bugs on people and there's snakes, and we're like
Hmm.
this, and it goes kind of there's a scene with like monkey brains and stuff, and it's very like it's got a horror movie in your face element that is not like it's not branded a horror movie, but it's a freaky movie. When I was a kid, I was like, this is my introduction to it. So when I saw Temple of Doom with Sean Connery, and it was light and fun, I was like, oh, this is more my speed in terms of. But I still liked Temple of Doom.
I mean,
But then when I saw Raiders, I was like, oh, the OG, this is some good shit. Like, I think
Right.
Raiders is the fucking best one. Crusade may have the best stunts and stuff like that, but yeah. Raiders is just fucking perfection. It's like, it's it's such a classic Spielbergian.
yeah.
Fucking.
Speaking of, I mean, not to say we're going to talk about Indiana Jones the whole stream here, but did you see the Empire photos come out today?
Oh, of Harrison Ford, yeah, with the wedding
Yeah.
ring. That's what everybody pointed out. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
I spotted it. I'm like, yeah, you and 1,000 other people.
Yeah. But have you actually listened to John's Ask Me Anything, because because I wanted him to mention the Empire photos today, but he didn't. I watched the whole goddamn show and he didn't talk about that. So.
I don't watch the open mics on the Campia channel. I just watch the main show. I
Yeah, I
sometimes
do
watch
too.
Weekly Hero too, but
Yeah. See, now this is where Elias's character, I'm like, dude, yeah, I don't. But again,
to have them in elaborate makeups and
yeah,
different
you know,
styles every time. If it becomes funny later for me because when somebody doesn't recognize him, he goes, "It's me." And it's like, how would you recognize you? Because you change your appearance every day.
yeah, every day, yeah, yeah.
Dante's
You
still
know,
getting
but
shit on after all these years.
no, but there's one scene that I absolutely love in this movie, and I love it because it's everything that I wanted to tell the character of Randal since I saw Clerks 1 in screenplay writing class. But we'll get there. I
Go
just,
ahead.
but but of course it's Dante's last, wishes where he just lets, Randal have it.
And Randall's being so dismissive and kind of like usury throughout the movie at that point.
Right.
You're totally, I think you're meant to be on Dante's side and be like, yeah, you're fucking, he's telling you how it is. You better listen up, pal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Randall is still like, ugh, our friendship's
Yeah.
over, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I got
think-
mad at a friend today. I think our friendship's over.
what?
Somebody I used to be friends with, and recently like hung out every now and again, do it as a family and whatever, and wife, and it's all different now with all my old friends. Anyway, we've always texted and stuff, right? I think the last 5 times I texted him, and he didn't respond. I got like really embarrassed, like, oh, I guess like I should get a hint that like, yeah, I don't want to be my friend anymore. And I got mad today, and I sent him a text, and I said, "You've been so good at ghosting me lately. It's as if you've actually died. LOL. I don't know what your problem is, but I didn't do anything." And I'm like, send, and I'm like, oh, why did they do that? I don't know what's going on in this person's life. There's a reason they're not telling me. Like, maybe something happened. Maybe they're depressed or something. I don't know. And I just was like, oh, you fucking won't respond to me. But it's weird, though, 'cause it's like when somebody responds to you on a regular basis for like 15 years, and then they're like, oh, I guess, what? And I don't want to call a person. That's weird. You just don't. But part of me was like, maybe I should call and see, like, is everything okay? But I chose the immature route, and I lashed out in an immature way. And to be honest, this person's not the forgiving type. So they're
Okay.
probably like, "Fuck you," but they won't. They won't. They're polite enough not to say it to me, so I probably will
Yeah.
not get a response.
Yeah. Well, I actually, a good friend of mine who I had a relationship, a great friendship with, for a very, very long time. All throughout our friendship, this individual wanted me to text him. He didn't like FaceTime. He didn't like this. He didn't like that. So our friendship was, FaceTime and shit like that. He even actually came to visit me, a couple years ago. And this is the first person that I met online and allowed into my real life. And you know, I think it was late last year where he just texted me out of the blue and he said, "I am, I have brain cancer and I'm dealing with some other issues." And I'm like, "How the fuck do you want me to respond to this? You haven't texted me in almost a whole goddamn year. And like, how the fuck, like."
Yeah, it's hard to gauge what people are going through
Yeah. No, I mean, I think at this point in my life,
if they're not
I'm used.
communicating. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, at this point in my life, I'm used to people leaving me, and I've come to the understanding, if you want to be in my life, I'm not gonna be the one that is climbing up the hill anymore. You're you're gonna put in the effort, because I really came to the understanding that for most of my friendships in my life, I was always the one pushing.
Mm. You need like I had a few friends over during the pandemic. Not a few, like two actually. One guy I used to go to school with and used to hang out and stuff. I know when you smoke weed now with people, nobody shares joints. By the way, everybody's like, we'll puff on our own individual things. Nobody wants to, you know, fucking. Back in the day when I was take it, let me take a swig of your beer. And it's like give it back to the person or swig of your drink or something. It's like no, we
No.
don't even share joints now. And
Okay.
uh, another friend that last year, I think when Invincible was out, he's like, "Oh, let's watch this Invincible show," because I had Prime and he was following it, and I got him into a few shows. And you ever have friends where like they insist on watching a show that you clearly don't like, and they want to convert you somehow, and you're like, "No, I just can't." I had a friend try to make me watch "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia." I've literally seen like 40 fucking 4 episodes of that show, and I think it's okay. I don't really laugh at it that much. Although I find Charlie Day and Danny DeVito and the other, uh, Mark, what is it, McElhenney,
Yeah, I
the other
think it's
guy.
Mark from the cleaning or whatever.
By the way, this is very sad.
Hmm.
I'm diverting. I'm
Yeah.
diverting to not feel emotions.
Yeah, we keep getting distracted, and we're not actually talking about the movie that we're
But
fucking.
the funny thing is, I'm looking right at the movie and I'm listening, but I'm just rambling at the same time about
No, that's okay.
things. It's almost like the
It's all right.
movie's inspiring thoughts.
Yeah, it's okay.
15 years. So yes, not long after Clerks 2.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
couldn't have been because she was pregnant
Mhm.
at the end of that movie. Which, by the way, there was a time jump, so I assume yeah,
Right,
maybe
and
fucking 6 months to a year could have passed. Well, actually, no, it had to be before 9 months. Yeah, sorry.
right.
Yeah, but within that 9 month period,
Hmm.
it like his life fell apart.
I'm not the biggest fan of Brian O'Halloran's acting in the series, but I do like the character. I do like the character of Dante, but I'm like, when you put Brian O'Halloran next to Rosario Dawson, and Rosario Dawson as a ghost, kind of just kicks, Brian O'Halloran's ass as a actor. She doesn't even have to get off the fucking.
You know, I I think both Jeff Anderson and um, Brian O'Halloran over the years Like especially in this part, like it feels like Brian O'Halloran really crying, but like that part where he's like, "You don't believe in romantic love," and like that line, oh, again with the she doesn't remember.
Right.
Come on, let's get over that. Let's.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm nitpicking because it's very well done. I mean, I can't really
Yeah.
say
No,
I can't really shit on
ag-
this scene,
y-
but
again, I think,
their acting
you
has
know,
improved. You got to admit that over the course of the
yes.
films.
No, I do. I do. I do. But
And
again, I
I would have
just
loved to
think
see
that
these guys in other films, like little parts. You know what I mean? Like get them. Like I've always wanted to see these actors show up in other places. And it's like, ooh, I guess they're I don't know. They're not getting the auditions. They're not looking. I don't know what's going on.
no, I think, you said it earlier in the stream. Randall and, Dante are like the Avengers of the whole VSQ universe. So
Hmm.
with that dynamic, it makes sense that they haven't cameoed in other VSQ movies.
Not no, they have. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about outside the VSQ, like Hollywood.
Oh, Hollywood. Okay, okay.
And they do show up in indie stuff, you know, like stuff that's very much self-produced by, like Jason Mewes has made a couple of movies, I think. In the Method of Madness is a Jason Mewes movie with
Right.
a bunch of those actors in there. This is a big miss Ben Affleck's cameo.
Yeah.
Oh, Boston accent, very.
Ugh.
It's not good. It's very bad. I don't know why he's talking like that.
No. I would have loved to seen Hogan and Holden to show up in this movie. I
Total
was like,
waste.
total
Ralph
waste of
Garman should
time.
have been in this more. Ralph Garman's pretty funny.
Right, right, right.
You ever listen to Hollywood Babylon?
Yes, of course. I think,
Justin Bieber,
yeah.
nobody fucking needs ya.
Yeah, I think Garmin is better than I mean, I really like Mark Bernardin.
Mark Bedard, yeah. I heard
Yeah.
his voice for the longest time. I didn't know what he looked like,
Hmm.
and he has a kind of like very soft, like gentle. Well, yes,
Right.
and Kevin's like, well, yeah. He's like, and he gets really, not all the time, but you know what I mean.
Hmm. Yeah, but I think, I think I just like the dynamic of Kevin with Ralph. Um,
Do you know Mark Bernardin worked on Picard season 2 somehow?
yes, I do.
And then he's like, he
I
was gone anyway.
Yeah, I don't like I have no idea what episode he wrote, or I might have missed it, or was he like a staff writer?
I don't know what he's some kind of I don't know what he was. I mean, there was so many. You look at so many people, just producers on a modern Star Trek show. Like 50, just producers, and
Hmm.
I don't
No,
know.
those people. I have a big problem with people who are credited on films and don't do fucking shit. Like, why? Like, yeah, but that's a story for another time.
Well, I don't. I mean, there's all kinds of jobs that people just don't talk about. I mean, I don't know what
Right.
kind of creative power he had in season 2. I mean, it was most of it was led by Akiva Goldsman.
Yeah. Well, I have
So
a.
I mean, it's a sinking. You're on a sinking ship, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's pretty clear that I have a love and hate relationship with Akiva Goldsman, and that's putting it kindly.
I don't have anything personal against him.
No, no,
I
I
see his
no,
name
I
attached to
no,
something, and I don't expect
no.
much.
Again, when I say a love and hate relationship with Akiva Goldsman, he's a wonderful person, but when I say things like that, I am speaking creatively, not not Akiva Goldsman as as a physical person. I'm sure he is the nicest guy on the planet, I, but speaking about him as creatively, that's where my issues lie with him as a
Fuck
creative
Akiva
individual.
Goldsman. Fuck him right up his ass.
Well,
I'm just trying to get the topic off of Akiva Goldsman. By the way,
yeah.
Blade Runner. Blade Runner, nice. Fucking
Oh my.
Daryl Hannah from Blade Runner.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, when I said fuck Akiva Goldsman up his ass, that was a joke, people. We need to learn
Yeah.
how to laugh.
Yeah. Look. At this point, you could. I mean, you could say whatever the fuck you want. I was like, nope. Yeah. Nobody's probably gonna sit and listen to this anyway.
I was walking down the street the other day and I said to the guy, "Those are nice sneakers." He said, "Up your ass." I said, "Well then, if that's an invitation."
Yeah.
Look at the fuck. Oh, those are cool gothy rings that
Yeah.
goth,
Kind
goth,
of. Yeah.
the spikes and stuff. It's all very like.
You know, the whole thing about him Elias trying to find his identity through fucking changing 50 fucking times every goddamn day. It didn't work for me. I'm like, just
look.
Argh!
But look at this. Look at this. 2 things you should not do in a movie. Well, there's a bunch of things you shouldn't do, but two big things. Don't chew gum while you're doing dialogue. Don't be like
No.
and talk in a fucking scene because that's crazy. That's insane. And don't ever, at any point, show people in a movie or a TV show chewing their fucking nails.
No, it's gross.
It's gross, but I know people who just like, you might as well be picking your nose in front of me. You might as well be just rooting around for a booger because it makes no sense why you would have such actions in a movie unless it means something to the narrative.
Right.
But if I was a director and like some person was like improving and they started chewing their nails on camera, I'd be like, don't do that. And stop looking at the camera.
Uh-huh.
No. You ever see extras in movies look at the camera? It happens from time to time.
Yeah.
They get stupid, right? They forget. Like you're not supposed to look at the thing, that's filming.
Yeah. Yeah. Look past the. If it.
And drugs in the back. Now, this is the best part of the entire. I love this. Part
This
of
is great. This is great.
Oh, so good. I love all this stuff. When she says, "At least I have a family," or what was it? And then she gets all fucking guilt ridden over it.
Yeah. She'll get there.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the acting is pitch perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All Queen, he's got to say it.
Yep.
They really could have used that 37 dicks thing. How many do you think it is at this point?
40 something.
Yeah, okay, yeah, probably. I guess you don't want to do that as much as you get older.
No, not really.
It's like, nah. Let's see, the novelty is worn off.
Yeah.
This is good though.
Yeah, this is a
I
really
love how they fuck at the end of it. It's so brilliant.
This is a really, really good scene, Kevin.
I love in movies when a character asks another character. It's like one of these things where there's a moment of emotional vulnerability between two characters, and they could feel good about it at the end if they just fuck, and you know it's coming, and it does
Mhm.
usually happen. But I just love it in movies when one of the characters is like, "So you
Right.
want to fuck?" And it's like, boom,
Hmm.
get to the
No,
point.
I think one thing that Kevin is really good at. He's really good at going from serious to going from things that really really inappropriate jokes to really 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 heartfelt moments. But I think in this film he just you know didn't know how to balance it properly, at least for me.
I do admit when he collapses later, it just takes a very sharp, sad turn.
Yeah.
That I can completely understand some fans it being too jarring and too crushing, and or just like not what they wanted at all.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this guy taking a picture in the background.
Uh-huh.
For one thing, you're so far away that how are you going to get anything? And why are you using the flash? The flash is going to be useless when you're trying to photograph an object that far away.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's just a weird. It's just a stupid little
Mhm.
thing.
No,
This
I
is
just
good. This is good. I love how they're making fun of Jason Mewes and how he like couldn't act, and so he
yeah.
overacted.
Yeah, this is very good. Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, no, go ahead. No, no, I was just, if Kevin wanted to take Clerks down this serious path, this serious path, I would have just appreciated him just to dial everybody down and make the film have one tone to it, and use his comedy to to lighten up the dark tone, but don't have it light, and then hit us with the Dante thing at the very, very end. You know, you know, But yeah, look. I understand why he did it that way, but I wouldn't have done it that way.
Hmm. I kind of get where the imbalance you might be talking about is most apparent for me is that when he gets back to the store after being drunk. By the way, he could have very well drove there,
Yeah,
which caused the
he could
accident
have
that
killed
killed us.
somebody.
But it's when Mark Bernardin's wife and daughter are there,
Yeah,
and it gets super super serious, and then like oh inject funny people who are there thinking it's part of the deal to
no,
break. I understand it's like they're okay. It's breaking the tension of it, but upon repeat viewings, I'm like, ah, it just feels. It just it oh it does it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a minor irritant. It's like I get that you're having this funny woman in here like berating her husband and talking about like oh bad language and the first
it
showing I
doesn't.
was like ah she's funny
No, it
but
doesn't fit.
knowing what happens later in the movie and then you watch it a second time and she's like oh that was good acting and like oh
No.
no lady he might be dead you know.
Yeah.
It's like oh it's awkward that's all. It's
Mhm.
not it's not a huge complaint, it's just awkward. By the way, I
Right.
love this Silent Bob's speaking moment.
I think but the one thing that I really really appreciate, well, I appreciate a lot of things about the Clerks films, and I know for anybody possibly listening to this right now, you'd be like, going, "You motherfucker, you hate this movie." I don't hate this movie. I just have very 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 deep ingrained screenplay writing issues with this movie. Um, you know, but onto the
You should
positive.
you
I
know
love.
you should tweet at Kevin Smith and tell him that he ruined your precious He-Man. No, I'm joking. I can't believe.
No.
Do you know what I don't even know what they're referencing, and I have nothing against who they're referencing. By the way, whoever it
Yeah.
is,
No.
Uh, I don't. It's a YouTuber or something, but people say two things about Kevin Smith. Like a couple of things. They say like you're a sellout or a hack or whatever. Which, by the way, being
No.
independent is like the opposite of selling out.
That's
Whatever.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Uh, the He-Man thing,
Uh,
and he needs to apologize to some person. Clownfish TV.
no, it doesn't. He doesn't. Look, look, look.
Which, by the way,
Kevin.
I purposely didn't look up because I don't want to have any bias for or against. It's just what people complain about when they complain about Kevin Smith. They bring up this like he needs to apologize to some YouTuber who said he lied about something in He-Man
No, who
and
gives
blah
a
blah
shit?
blah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, is how is He-Man this important to so many people? I fucking grew up on He-Man,
Yeah.
and it's not
No,
nearly as important.
no. I think I think when you rely on material to give your life meaning, that's a problem. The things that you love shouldn't shouldn't emotionally hold you up. They should make your life more rewarding, but they shouldn't emotionally hold you up.
Exactly, in a row.
I like the black and white choice and the yeah the fucking litter bun.
It's the exact same dude, exact same
Yep.
setup and frame, in the exact
Hmm.
same location.
Yep.
He's allergic to cats,
Oh my god.
which is not inherently funny, but the fact that they just don't give a shit about him.
No, they don't.
There's a, I don't know, there is a less realistic nature to the comedy and the setup of the entire movie. It seems like two did a better job grounding it
Hmm.
to where it felt like more of a real world thing.
No. Also,
This is so meta, you know what I mean? The whole thing is just fucking meta and self-referential
hmm hmm
and
this is
is
like
Kevin Smith up its own ass? I mean, he makes that joke about the tail eating its own ass or something.
yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. This is Clerks. This is Clerks on within itself, or Clerks eating its own ass,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
But again, geez, I feel like I'm apologizing, but I I like this movie for what I appreciate what Kevin was trying to do in this movie, but it just didn't work for me. That being said, I still like this movie, but I think I'm gonna like this movie a lot more when I get older, and and I get to maybe Kevin Smith's age if I don't die earlier.
By the way, the use of the song L'amour here is just brilliant. It's a
Hmm.
very good song choice for what's going on.
Right.
This is based on like Jason Mewes, how he didn't want to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
do the dance in front of everybody.
For the first film.
Yeah. I like the song that plays here too. Uh, Starship, is that the name of the band?
Yeah, Starship.
Is that the same guy? Probably not.
No, probably not.
It's a little different now that dude's almost 50.
Yeah, yeah, a little different.
Find Your
I
Way Back
almost
by
wonder.
Starship. That's the name of the song.
Yeah, I almost wonder if Randall didn't berate Dante in the freezer, you know, before Dante's last stand. I wonder if Dante would have uh, living longer. Do you think he would have had the heart attack anyway?
Well, there was foreshadowing with the doctor telling him like you need to shove a vegetable in your
Right,
friend's mouth, but you need to start eating
better.
whatever she said, which she basically warned him like But
Right,
I guess this process of making the movie, doing all this for Randall, he's neglecting himself, and in turn
right,
he's
right, right.
neglecting not only his mental health but his physical health, and that kills him.
Hmm.
That's a hard truth in some lives. Like that's how a lot of people end, and the choice is, I look at it this way: Dante may be gone, but his cousin's still around. So it's like, and it's the View Askew universe. Is anybody
Right.
ever really dead? If you can just get the same actors to play different roles, and like I said,
Right.
they have this comic where they're making fun of that thing. They're Ben Affleck has played multiple characters. Jason Lee's played multiple characters. What if these characters meet? They
Hmm.
just be carbon copies of each other, except they would have different attitudes, or
Right. That would be interesting.
like Jason Lee's cameo could have very easily been Brody from Mallrats.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Brody from Mallrats is in the Jay and Silent Bob movies.
Right.
That's the actual same actress too. The same actor
Yeah.
who killed him in the deleted scene. Which,
Hmm.
by the way, in the original Clerks, Dante dies in the end. He gets shot,
Yep.
and they took it out. They're like, no, it's too much of a down note. Which is you, J, silent J, J. You're sticking the gum in the locks. That's funny. I hate how Hollywood, fake Hollywood is. This woman gets to do her little cameo as Lucille Ball, which I think she wanted to do in the first movie. I don't know if they
Yeah,
filmed it,
that's right.
or they probably couldn't film it. But
Hmm.
she was like, she wanted to do a take as Lucille Ball because
Hmm.
she dresses up like Lucille Ball and does an like pretty not a bad impression actually. But it's that
No, it's not bad at all.
she looks like a Lucy type, and all she has to say is "Oh, Ricky," and like
Right.
see that where he skips over the
Yeah, he did.
that was in the first movie where like it sounds weird because he always thought that sounded weird. Han gets frozen, taken away, and he left out the "and." I'm like, it's just one of those
Yep.
things where somebody's acting and they
Hmm.
they
You
go
know,
through the line too quick or something. It's just a little thing.
mhm. the I mean the coolest behind the scene factoid about this film, when they were actually doing the movie within the movie, Kevin actually had access to the original Clerks on HBO Max, and he was doing all the framing based on HBO Max and all that stuff. So, uh,
Oh yeah, you can just look it up online, and
yeah.
you can like we need to frame it up like exactly how it looked. Just look it up.
Hmm.
See everything like so many things.
Right.
This is the actual guy from the
Mhm.
the Chuli's representative
Right.
who goes around and fear mongers people to quit smoking so they'll chew more gum. You know, it's fascinating that they got all the original. All these people are still around Jersey
Yeah.
or
Hmm.
where's the set exactly?
No, yeah, no. This is no. The reason that they could get all these people back from the original movie is because, like you said, a lot of them were native to New Jersey, and a lot of them are still there.
The two of them look very similar to how they looked back then.
Hmm.
Like, there's very you expect this guy to be fatter and balder or something, and like
Hmm.
no,
Right.
he's just got wrinkles and that's it.
Yep.
You know how some people kind of get bloated over the years.
Hmm. I mean, the moral of the story, kids, if you take away anything from our little stream here, is take care of
I'll be right
yourself.
back. I gotta take care of something.
It's okay.
Keep her rolling. Don't press pause or anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it rolling. Um, I always, I like this moment here with the. See, I like all this stuff because this is actually, it takes me back to the original, Clerks 2, I should say, and it was always fun to see this stuff. You know, with all my problems with Kevin Smith, the one thing that I really respect about Kevin now at this stage in his career, I really appreciate that he is making the movies that he basically wants to make, and you know,
He's his own boss that way.
right, 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 right,
I like how they have the girl from Reboot make a cameo.
right.
The one who's like, this guy's trying to fuck me.
No, and
We're,
no, and
remember where Silent Bob shows her the eggplant emoji? And she's like, this guy's trying to show me his old man dick.
right. No,
I forget her name. I'm sorry.
you know, essentially, Kevin being his own boss, that's what I want to do. That I the films that I want to make, you know, a lot of people aren't going to be interested in. So essentially, I want to be, uh, you know, um, a version of what Kevin Smith has achieved in his career. I guess
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah, makes sense. This must have been the day that they took that promotional. Remember the first picture of Clerks 3?
Right,
It
right,
came
right.
out. It was the guys in their convenience store
Hmm.
uh, get up, and then she had the movies thing on. And if I remember correctly, I think Kevin Smith said that they had a very limited time with her, so a lot of her stuff was shot. Like
In
it was all
in what?
condensed. I don't
Yeah,
know if
in
it
like
might have
few
been
days,
one
right?
day, could have been 3 days. I would assume 3 days. 3 days if you're gonna shoot multiple scenes. 3 days seems like the minimum.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, during this time she was playing
Doing
Ahsoka, and I can't wait to see that series.
right.
If Andor is any indication of where the quality of Star Wars is heading,
Hmm.
then Mandalorian season 3, which Mandalorian has always been great.
Right.
Ahsoka, Jesus, can't wait.
Yeah, Ahsoka. Yeah, Ahsoka's gonna kick ass. But
I've I've never I didn't look her up yet. I've seen this actress before. I can't remember where. Of course, I recognize Mark Bernardin.
yeah,
It's funny how he's like a silent husband. Like
yeah.
he does this podcast with Kevin Smith, and
He's very vocal,
he has a soft. He's I call it a soft nerd voice.
soft nerd voice.
You know, that kind of like, you know how comic book guy in The Simpsons like, oh, so yes,
Yeah.
I've seen this movie. They have this like kind of like inflection.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've seen this. What you're talking about? Yes, I've seen it. It's like
Right.
almost I call it the Frasier way of American speak.
Oh, the Frasier one.
It sounds kind of grandiose. Yes, I've seen.
Speaking,
I've seen this thing of which you speak. That
yeah,
type of thing.
speaking of Frasier, I'm really excited for the Frasier reboot that is coming to Paramount Plus. Just throwing it out there.
I hear the blues are calling. Tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
Yep.
They're calling again. You know what? I always thought that was that
What?
you ate tossed salad and scrambled eggs and you had to take a crap. That's why they're calling again. Like they're calling out the other side. It's all about psychiatry. It's about the
Right.
patients who call into the show. And when I was a kid, I just thought it was literally about food and shitting it out. Isn't that weird?
No, it's not. It's not weird since you
Stupid.
were
I
a
was
kid.
I think I was a smart kid, but at the same time, I was like something really
You
stupid
know.
about me. Like I got
You know
good
what? I
grades. I
think.
got A's and B's, but I wasn't
Mhm.
street smart. Like people could trick me easily, I guess, or like lie, and I'd be like, "Well, that's so absurd. Why would you lie about it?" Like that type of thing.
No, I think you were a smart kid, but you were missing. The most important part, context.
I think I had some kind of social disorder that has uh, long been undiagnosed. Jeez. It's funny because he says it. He's genuinely sad at this point,
Yeah.
and the dialogue is just.
Here it goes.
Do you think Randall at this point when is thinking like, right up to where he breaks character? Randall's probably like, man, he's
No.
doing a good job acting here because he seems like he's really pissed.
No, I don't.
And then he
I
realizes,
don't
oh, he actually is pissed. Fuck.
yeah, I don't. I don't think Randall really gets what's happening here until
That's what I'm saying. He
Jake.
thinks it's just really good acting.
Yeah. Here we go.
I mean, you have to admit if you're familiar with Kevin Smith's movies.
Hmm.
From an acting point of view, this is easily in the top 5 of anything, but
Yeah.
it's definitely Brian O'Halloran's best moment.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
people will say when you get the yelling or the emotional scenes, it's easier to do realistically. But I don't
Mhm.
know. Like you've had when you're doing like hard fucking raw emotions like this, that's energy, dude. That's like a
Mhm.
lot of. If you're not actually feeling it and you're truly just acting, that's fucking.
No.
If you're
No,
lying,
I
you know what I
think.
mean. You're great acting is good lying. That takes a
Yeah.
lot of fucking out of you.
I think for me, this is Kevin Smith's finest moment. In of his career, because I'm like, just just the way that he wrote this and the way that Brian delivered it. I echo your sentiments. This is like Brian O'Halloran's best moment as as Dante in the whole Clerks franchise, I think.
So Kevin Smith has seen this movie at this point, November 2022, probably I don't know countless times, because he's gone on tour, and he kind of jokes about how he's like he's on tour just making people cry every night. And these people who talk about Clerks 3 is a fucking failure, fucking nobody watched it. It's like, dude's been posting for months and months and months.
Yeah.
Well, not months and months and months, since this movie was released
Right.
in September.
Right.
Was
Right.
it October, September, whatever it
I
was?
think it was October.
October. There you go. This whole time, he's still packed houses of sobbing people at the
Hmm.
end of the movie. How must that feel like to be like, Would you get sick of it? Would you be like, oh, make it? I wonder if they're gonna
Um,
cry tonight. And of
yeah,
course they
as
will,
a
because they showed up for. They obviously love the character, so they're gonna fucking cry, right?
yeah. No, I mean, the first time that I watched this movie, I I didn't know what to I didn't know what to say. I was like, I was so shocked, and it wasn't until later when I saw it again and I started to pick it apart. But this film really has an emotional core at the heart of it,
Oh,
and if you like Kevin Smith specifically, if you like these characters, you're gonna feel something. And here we go. That was just I was the
now,
there's a
now,
lady.
now
Come on,
that
really?
yes, I get it. But when that hard cut to yes, that's
No.
and
Uh.
even I don't even like the fact that Randall for a split second thinks he was acting. Like, you know what I mean? And think about it. Like, I think it's a nitpick, but I think as soon as he collapsed, it just would have been like, oh fuck, hospital. Not
Yeah,
this the
that would have been
comedic
great.
break plus Randall being like, oh, you're faking it. I'm like, dude, it's a wonder his head didn't explode in front of you like scanners. Like the way
Yeah.
he was, like any like the performance itself could have fucking given that guy a heart attack. Like the
Mhm.
actor, I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's a
Yeah, I
lot of
wonder.
energy you're putting in it, and people like his face was red and everything. Like, his face was bloodshot, and
Mm.
I don't
I
think
wonder how
that
many.
was a method or
Yeah,
something.
I wonder how many times he had to do that scene. I think
Yeah, really. Be interesting to.
I should watch the commentary to find out. I'll watch the commentary again just to find that out.
Do you, I think narratively, his denial about how serious the situation is, I could see
I
it as
think
like an emotional
coping mechanism.
coping mechanism,
Hmm.
and I'm glad that Kevin Smith had he went in the direction where Elias gets fucking pissed and calls him out and like, no, 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 you are not acting right. Because I hate when characters in movies don't act like themselves, but there's no reason. No, there's
Hmm.
no apparent reason. Here I can see it. I'm like,
Right,
he's even afraid to think about the possibility that his friend could die right now.
right. He's in complete denial. Also, I mean, as much as I complain about the way that Elias was written as a character in this movie, this moment is the only moment where I go, God damn it, if you would have written Elias like this for the whole film, that would have been great. But
Well,
again,
vital information. Just imagine if he had known that. Do you think he would have been more appreciative of Dante? Like,
yeah, actually, actually, if he would have known that earlier and have Dante still arrive at the monologue and to have him, pass out and ultimately, spoiler alert, but if you watch this, you've probably seen the movie before. To have Dante die, I think that would have been a bigger kick in the balls. I think that would have worked
hmm.
a lot better. But
Now the fact that he goes and spends all night putting together a rough cut of the movie or whatever,
yeah,
uh, it's an indication that he doesn't know. I think subconsciously he thinks like my friend might not have much time, so I
yeah,
better show him
something.
something. So if it is his last moment, he won't know it's in vain. Like,
Uh huh.
it's a good song. Anything's better than New Jersey. New Jersey is a certain special place in American pop culture, in like movies and TV shows. Like, you got Sopranos, you got the whole View Askew thing. Boston's kind of another place too, but
Mm.
it's like these
I
kind
think
of they're almost like mythic places where it's a good place to live, but hard knocks at the same time, or
yeah.
people don't fuck around. And
Yeah, I always make fun of New Jersey because it's fucking Jersey. But with that being said, two writers who I respect very much, Kevin Smith and Damon Lindelof, came from Jersey. So
Like I think 99% of America. I've never been to America, but 99% of Americans that I've ever known seem like right on cool people.
yeah.
I've known a lot of assholes from Canada for sure,
Oh, I
which is
mean,
another misconception about Canada. It's like all
you
sunshine and
guys
lollipops, but
have
it's
assholes.
cold.
What? Canada is not full of fairy dust.
See what he's wearing? The Hater Tots T-shirt. Fred
I didn't,
Armisten's failed.
I
I
didn't
guess
see
they're not
that.
failed anymore. Hater Tots are back because of the.
Right.
Yeah. It gets so fucking sad here.
Yeah.
By the way, I still don't know this song. It's not in the official soundtrack. I don't. They may have been updated. But when I look up Clerks 3 songs, this one song is you can't. So I guess it's an original thing made for the movie.
Maybe.
I want to hear the whole fucking song. Like I want to hear the song. Actually, I'll look it up again while this happens. Hold on.
I just sit here.
I literally looked up sad song from Clerks 3. Doesn't work out. Oh, I came upon a Reddit feed talking about Clerks 3.
Hmm.
Can't find that song though. This is the sniffles began in the theater right fucking here.
Now.
Right here. And man, dude, I was welling up. As soon as this
God
started,
damn it.
when I realized they were using the real footage from
Oh.
Clerks, the original Clerks,
Even now, talking to you, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm like, what?
this song is so good though. It's sad as fuck.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
And then at the funeral, they play goddamn Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
I forget what's.
Are
I love that song.
you're
No,
not
I
a big
forget the
Pearl
name.
Jam fan?
Oh no, I love Pearl Jam. Well, I'm
Uh,
saying that song is right on the money in terms of let's make you
right.
cry.
Right.
Breathe. It's called Breathe. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I love Pearl Jam. Big.
And this here, he's in the movie theater alone,
Yep.
and he looks around. Oh, it's all fucking
Oh
so
man.
like Kevin Smith, you dirty bastard.
You dirty bastard.
I've heard him made fun of like people getting mad at getting emotional. It's like because they hate it. Some people hate that they've done this. Like he did this, like killed off the character, and then like, oh, why? I wanted more adventures with Dante. It's like his cousin, dude. He can. Brian O'Halloran can be back at any point, and it can be a different guy, but it won't be Dante. Oh, it's so sad. This is the first time seeing any of the Clerks footage for me in a theater when I
Wow.
saw it. But again, you know where he's illuminated right there.
Uh
The
huh.
theater probably had it at about half the lumens because every small movie that you see in a theater my theater
Mm-hmm.
has that either old or half turned down bulb.
Oh.
It's like they don't give a fuck how you see it because four people are going to see whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they just don't care about your experience. IMAX is different. Usually that'll look pretty good, but
Yeah.
anything else out of IMAX, you're taking a risk.
AMC here in the States is really really good with with showing the proper projection for most of the movies that they show at the theater.
Yeah, it's especially important for 3D movies.
Yep.
So many times I've seen a 3D movie, and the 3D is just doesn't look
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's because it's too
Well.
fucking dark.
Mhm.
And what happens is when you don't have the thing fully turned up,
Right.
if you have it turned down, you then you put the film over the eyes.
Right.
It's further darkens the picture. You can still see it, but it's not good. That's why when I went to see Avatar must have had some kind of special. It's usually IMAX, but Avatar in particular. I remember the picture. One of the first images was like inside the spaceship where the guys are floating, and it's very bright. Everything's white, and like it lit up the fucking room. Like it was just crisp and clear, and it was like, this is what 3D should look like. And I have a bad feeling that if I went to see Avatar: The Way of Water in the way the theater is now and traditionally has been, I'm taking a risk of them not having that same quality that they did when they first had the laser projection, the IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing Star Trek 2009, best looking movie I'd ever seen on the big screen, simply because it was the first digitally projected movie at full fucking lumens. That's not the case anymore. They're still digitally projected, but they're like, let's turn down that bulb to save money.
No, turn up the bulb, you idiots. Does that sound about right? Turn it up.
See,
right?
Bringing back the thief story.
Yeah.
It's all sad. Dogma reference.
Yeah.
You see the comic book guys in the background.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know they're a couple in real life? Harley Quinn Smith and that dude.
Oh yeah,
Apparently.
I did not know that.
And she like waves at him.
Mm.
So I think maybe if they do a Clerks 4, they will be a couple.
Possibly.
I think he's a bit younger than her though. He's probably a year or two younger.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. Yeah, but I'm very, very curious to see what Clerks 4 is going to be like. I mean, I know Kevin is going to do what he wants, but I'm very, very curious to see what he does after the response of this film.
You know what? Clerks 4 should be another Clerks 2. Not at the movies or anything. Still at the store. But fucking just go for like laughs and edgy comedy. You don't need to go to the racial slur route.
No,
like
don't
what the second movie did, which by the way is fucking hilarious. And Wanda Sykes and Earthquake's reactions to everything,
it's great.
Is what make that scene work. There's a difference between just saying offensive things in a movie just for the sake of it and doing it to have characters react in a fucking hilarious way that works for the audience, no matter who you are. This is sad too. It's like,
yeah.
I like this though. Sweet revenge. This is where I got the idea of like, oh cool, they should hook up in the next movie because she's going to be part owner. But then of course, right after this, that's resolved. Yeah. But I was like, maybe they should have an excuse next time to get her back in.
I'm sure Kevin will find one.
I don't think that might be a viable option for a lot of fans. Like her and him, no. But definitely, please, for the love of God, if you're going to do a Clerks 4, give Randal a love interest.
That would be nice.
Finally, for once.
That would be nice.
For once. And he is he's such a creep in the second movie. Like he's talking about fucking high school girls, and it's like, dude, I know you're probably just saying that because, like he admits in this movie, he's fronted a lot of his life about his prowess, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who's to say what any disgusting thing he said he's done to anyone actually happened? Never go ask the
Ah,
ghost.
this succubus.
And the wish is granted.
No, the guys are the whole fucking point.
Crypto and all of this stuff is dated now.
Yes, dated
It
as
was dated
hell
when the
right now.
movie came out.
Hmm.
Who's to say it won't come back? I don't know. I don't really know too much about it, but it just seems
Yeah,
like passe at this point.
yeah. I have. Yeah, I had a friend who tried to get me into cryptocurrency, and I still had no fucking idea how that worked. And she always wanted me to invest more money, and I'm like, how does this work? I'm like, just
It's like invest in Dogecoin and Nuberschnippels. It's like Nuberschnippels. How do they work? Well, they're in the Flavischmeer. What's this? What's the Flavischmeer? It's all. It's you might as well be speaking another language because when they try to explain that shit, I'm just like I zone out. Like I literally have just been hit in the head with something, and I'm in
right,
shock. I'm like somebody punched me. I just don't even know what happened. I'm
right.
just gobbledygook. I'm like anything that sounds just insane and you
Is
nobody
insane.
can make sense of it. It's a fucking scam.
Hmm.
Uh, I know this older gentleman, friend of a friend. I don't really know, but he's in his late 60s or something. He
Yeah.
got fooled on one of these like women send me money. I want to meet. He fell in love with this
Oh my
fake,
god.
and he told my uncle. He's like, but she sent pictures and we talked and talked. And my uncle had to tell him like, you don't know who the fuck that was. You got scammed by who God knows who. Sent this fucking. He doesn't make money like a lot of money. He sent her 5 fucking thousand, and he was brokenhearted and depressed. And, like he didn't get a response and all that. And like for the longest time, kind of believed that it was a real woman who was in love with him and the woman in the
No.
pictures and all this. I'm like, wow, people. That's why these scams exist because people do fall for them.
Hmm.
You'll get like text scams where like click on this link and you will get so much money and all that, and people do it and give them the information.
No.
It's like, oh no, you can't. No,
Yeah. So, what do you think about Kevin just talking over the credits here in a little bit?
it's interesting. I like it. If it was right away, it would be jarring.
It would
But
be
like,
jarring. The
if you're
fact
gonna
that
stick around this long, then sure, why not listen to what he has to say?
right.
I knew it was coming up. I stuck around. Some people started to leave, but I was surprised how many people stuck around until he started talking. I'm like, I guess they looked it up or something. I don't know. By the way, my theater was like half full. It was a good. It was good for a Kevin Smith movie. Jay and Silent Bob reboot was like sold out type of thing because it was only
Right.
literally 2 showings. Clerks 3 was also just 2 showings, by the way. Just two, and that's it.
Yeah. If I look. If I ever meet Kevin Smith, which is maybe because you never know. Of all the things that I'm going to talk to him about, I'm not going to bring up. I'm not going to bring up this movie, and I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to say thank you, thank you for the worlds that you create and the characters that you create. Because
You know what I would say to
um,
Kevin Smith? I would never meet him, by the way, unless he came here. uh, I'd say, you know what, Kevin? Your movies age like fine wine. That's all I would say. And then
yeah,
take it as you will, sir.
yeah.
I think that's complimentary.
No, and the other thing, the other thing that I would say to him is that you make movies your way, and I really respect that.
And that's
Huh?
another thing too about movies, like directors that leave their personality in the movies. Like you get a Scorsese type of film, or a Kevin Smith type of film, or a Quentin Tarantino type of film. You can the director's there. They're not. They may not be on screen all the time if they're ever in it,
Right.
but you can feel like this is a. If you didn't know the director, this feels like this type of movie. Like
Yeah.
if you saw a Robert Rodriguez movie and didn't know it, you'd be like, you could confuse it for a Quentin Tarantino movie if you weren't like versed in like what directors actually did. Because I know like specific filmographies, right? But
Right.
it's like I find these movies age very well
Mm-hmm.
because they're kind of a blueprint of one person's vision.
Yeah.
More generic, kind of like if you look at like how many cheesy 80s and 90s action movies about some big muscular fucking white dude out to get the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're such manufactured Hollywood kind of trash, good trash, a lot of it, I might say. It's fun to watch.
Right.
But those ones, decades later, just look like all parodies of each other, like a joke.
Mm-hmm.
When you
No,
get
I
like
think.
Kevin Smith, even with Chasing Amy, people try to say that's not progressive now because it's about a person changing sexualities. Like how
Yeah.
it's like it's a little more complicated than that. It's not that black
Yeah.
and white.
It's a lot more complicated than that.
And the movie addresses it appropriately. It's a very well made, fucking well thought out, well written fucking movie.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite scenes is when she has to play the pronoun game in front of her lesbian friends. She doesn't want to say he, so she says they. That's you didn't see that in movies back then, where you had a room full of gay people, where one gay person had to hide the fact that she was with a straight person,
Right.
like the reverse of the whole, and how what prejudice could look like on the other side, which, like I knew a girl one time. I worked with a girl who was prejudiced against bisexuals. She was a lesbian, and her reasoning for being prejudiced was the fact that her girlfriend was cheating with a girl who was with a guy, so she was cheating with a bisexual girl, and that pissed her off so much she developed a prejudice against. And I found that fascinating. I was like, you in a marginalized group had to face like discrimination and like prejudice and hatred, or hating on somebody for their sexuality. It blows my mind.
Right.
You don't hate. I felt like I should have said like I don't know how to respond to people's bullshit like that. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I wanted to say, you're not mentally healthy enough to be with anybody, and why would you stay with a person who cheated on you? For one thing, like that's insane. So that's your own fucking fault.
Yeah.
And why are you disparaging a whole sect of the LGBT plus community based on one fucking person that you don't like? Who, by the way, is screwing your girlfriend. Why aren't you? She never seemed to be pissed at her girlfriend. That's That's the weird thing. She was obsessed with the girl she was sleeping with, and all this like anti-bisexual stuff. And I'm like, I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I talked through Kevin Smith's whole thing.
Yeah. It's no. It's fine. Like I said, well, I'll tell you.
But
offline.
we brought up Chasing Amy because that's
Yeah, we did.
the whole idea of pansexuality, bisexuality, changing.
Yeah.
Realizing it's not so binary. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
what
Well,
it's about.
guys, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this free flowing conversation through Clerks 3. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. But before we go, PJ, if the good folks at home want to talk to you about anything, what would be the best place online for them to do that?
Twitter? Does that still exist?
You just had to go there.
I deactivate my account like once every couple of weeks. I don't announce it though. But I made a joke. I made a joke today about like, I don't want to follow anybody because I just look at the profiles anyway. That's what I do. I'm not normal. I don't use Twitter in the normal way. I'm actually wishing they'd come up with a different thing that I could go to. But see, people are like, Instagram. It's like Facebook. No, you need something different.
What
you
about
need a Twitter competitor?
Have you heard about Mammoth? Like there's That's the one that James Gunn is on, that he just moved to, uh, a couple days ago, and I watched a video on how to sign up for that thing, and it's it's very very different, and it's kind of complicated to sign up for that, but that essentially I think is going to be the new destination for people who don't like where Elon is taking Twitter, so to speak. I mean, but that's neither here nor there. So,
But you can find me at BoatWreck1 on Twitter or BoatWreck, BoatRek on YouTube, which I haven't done anything in a long time.
Mhm.
But might do a
but
year-end kind of deal.
but I think your content on Boat Trek is always very, 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 very informative, and it's very, very fun. And to be honest, who gives a shit if it's inconsistent? So
Yeah, well, it's that I don't watch Prodigy anymore. I like
Oh
it.
god, oh god,
I want to experience it I don't like. I want to see what happens with the Janeway stuff and when they meet, but I
yeah.
don't like it in the half an hour chunks. Like I just want to absorb it all in. I want the last 10 episodes. I want to binge.
Mhm.
So first time I've been successful with not watching uh, Prodigy
Yeah,
or any
I
modern Star Trek just to binge it. I mean, not because I hate it, but
no, I have a very, very interesting relationship with Prodigy, and I watched the most recent episodes, but I'm like, I don't care. The only reason I'm here is for the Janeway and Chakotay stuff, and I'm like, just so I don't know. I think I am where you were, like the last time we talked. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that. But
I'm
before
only
I
interested in Picard season 3 at this point.
oh yes, but Picard season 3, I like that is the most. That's like the most. That's like the Star Trek project that I'm most excited for moving forward. And I'm curious about the new season of Discovery. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that. But that's
Well,
neither here.
let's just say they're going to really capitalize in that new Indiana Jones film.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Burnham ends up running from a large rolling thing. It could be a rock or something else. There's definitely gonna be a scene in Discovery where they're gonna have to switch something out and wait. They're gonna have to replace it with like the proper weight, some kind of. You can tell from the teaser. It's very Indiana Jones.
Uh huh. Uh huh. All right, guys. So before we say goodbye to PJ, I just want to say thank you for coming on this journey with me through the Clerks franchise. It feels so nice to do that with you because we've talked about this at nauseum. So it's really cool that we finally got a chance to do that. And I'm not promising you guys anything, but there might be more Kevin Smith talk on this channel in the future. I will just leave it there because everything right now is kind of up in the air, and I don't want to announce stuff.
You should become a Kevin Smith centric channel
Yeah,
because then he'll notice and then he'll be on your show.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
time is money, and these people usually want to be paid, so probably not.
No, I mean, look. Of all the famous people that I like, I'm pretty sure if I reach out to Kevin, I'm pretty sure he would be the most open to giving me a moment of his time.
You know what you
I've
should do? You should
yeah,
wait until you do all the commentaries
yeah.
and then hit him with that slice of pizza and say, "Listen, Kevin, me and my friend have done commentary for all of your movies,"
Hmm.
and that would get his ears perking up. You want to get his attention.
Yeah.
The best way to get Kevin Smith's attention is to be very rude, because that he is a human being and he reacts.
Yeah.
He does respond and react. So I would say that, like, if you do say positive things to him or tag him in worthwhile things,
Hmm.
he's likely not to respond, But I wouldn't say he didn't see it and appreciate it. But I
No.
don't think he doesn't like everything all willy nilly. Ricky Gervais liked a tweet of mine. I was surprised at that.
Really.
I said Afterlife. I said I can't recommend Afterlife high enough, which is probably one of the top 5 shows Netflix has ever had. And he liked it. I'm like, Ricky Gervais liked my tweet.
Interesting.
He must have been going through like thousands of those fuckers. Just like liked everyone who was like, which is still appreciated, but it's like, wow, that's when a celebrity gets down on a level and is like liking individual fucking tweets.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah, that that's a lot. But with that being said, I just before I put you down in the basement
Hi, Kevin.
of my channel, I'll just end it there. So, PJ said hi, Kevin. So maybe on the future, Kevin, if you're listening to this, which you're probably not, come on the show. We'll talk. The View Askew universe.
Some
But
guy named Kevin Lambert is like, oh, well, hi. How are you doing?
no, I think I think I should clarify. I'm talking about Kevin Smith. But with that, I will just say thank you for being on the channel, PJ, and I hope you had fun.
I did. Thank you.
All right, bye. Okay, guys. So again, thank you so much for being here. For taking the time to listen to our ramblings on about Kevin Smith's career, our thoughts on other things, and God knows what else we said tonight. But if you guys want to get in contact with me, for right now, the best place to do that is on Twitter. There you'll see the links to everything I do, my 2 podcasts, my 3 YouTube channels, and pretty much everything else. But as I often say, until next time, I'll see you when I see you.
So much happened here, and so much is about to.